right. If you guys know us by now, we are always late. I'm still trying to pin this other stuff to our profile, so hang on just a second. Oh, come on. All right, it's not showing up on Facebook for some reason. All right, there it is. All right. Okay, guys, welcome back to week 5. Dude, we're already halfway through the season already.
Yeah.
Depending on which way you look at it, right? Because there's 11 games in the season, right? Because everybody's got a bye week, but we're week 5. We can't really have a week 5.5. So we're at the halfway point, man, and it's gone by very fast. A couple things that we want to talk about, kind of rehash. We kind of left this out or brought it up at the end of the show last week, and that was media passes and
Yeah.
media credentials, right? Yeah, it's been kind of so. This is our 6th year of doing this show, and we haven't really had a hard time getting media passes the last 5 years. This year, it's become an issue, and we kind of get it, right? Because there were some games last year, some playoff games last year that there were folks on the sidelines that had no business being there. A lot of the influencer crowd, right? Folks who are just trying to get a name for themselves and really don't know how to conduct themselves on the sideline. We get that. We get that, right? And we've talked to some coaches who've reached out after that last episode, and they say the same thing. And just to blanket everybody, it's kind of lazy, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we've done background checks, we've done everything we've had to do. We've never gotten in the way of coach, except that time Coach Souza yelled at you. Remember that?
Yeah. I got yelled at.
But really, that's what it is. You know, it's everybody trying to get famous to promote themselves, and you know, we don't feature ourselves in a lot of videos. Yeah, we do this show, right? But all the content we pump out, the kids highlights, things like that, we're nowhere near it, right? We don't do anything in it. We're highlighting the kids. Um, and just like you said last week, I mean, the newspaper, they don't get, and it's by no fault of their own, right? They don't have the
Their
time
hands are
for
tied.
it anymore, right? Their hands are tied. So we kind of see ourselves as an extension, right,
Yep.
of that and helping promote the kids. And a lot of the coaches get it, and some of them it's out of their hands. But it's just disappointing, right?
Well, I mean, it's cool because like we do have a pretty good bond with the 3 6 10 group, the Caller Times guys. They lean on us, we lean on them for info. We go to Q a lot. Larissa and us go back and forth on stuff. I mean, they used our video last week because, like you said, their hands are tied. They can't always get some of the content that we are. We're right there on the sidelines, and like I said, like you hit it nail on the head, dude. You never see me and you standing in front of a mic in front of these kids promoting the brand while using them, right? We always use the kids to promote the kids, and that's something that we've done the entire 6 years that we've been doing this show. And you are right. It's lazy. I don't like taking shots at the schools because we have a lot of schools that do want us to come through and give them the footage. But like you said, like we have done the background checks. Like if I had to do a background check at every school, 2 weeks before the season started, do it. Send me the paperwork. I have no problem doing that. Just so that I know on Friday or Thursday night, me and you can roll in, do what we have to do, see a good game, and be able to cover it come next week's show. And that's something that kind of takes away from me and you. I mean, we're busy, dude. Like I'm 40 minutes late to the tonight's show. I have my own kids in sports now. I'm doing stuff. You have a kid. You have a kid that's in high school right now in Odom doing the high school activities. You have a daughter in the middle school doing middle school activities that you're going to be doing stuff with her. Like, so us taking our time to give free content to help kids in the area, and then you have a couple schools want to shut that down. It's just, it's frustrating for me, especially since we've been here and we've been doing it and we're not trying to do and I get the social media influencer thing. We saw it last year and I get coaches not wanting a lot of that, but it's hard, dude. It kind of kills the drive a little bit. And I feel bad for the kids because they're missing out on some good coverage.
Yep.
And some of those schools they have great kids. Paliseo, man, I'd love to be able to highlight him. He's one of the best quarterbacks in this area.
Yep.
And you can't get over there and get some good footage of him. It just stinks.
Yep. Yep. So there goes that rant, right? We beat the dead horse. We talked about it last week. We talked about it during the show. We did some social media stuff on it, but that's it. It's dead, right? So a couple other things that have popped up this week. Did you see that? So we may be ending our Twitter career. Seeing that Elon's trying to charge everybody now, not just the blue check marks and the gold check marks. It's trying to charge everybody now for the service, so that may be coming down the pipe. So we may have to jump full board on Threads. Right. We started the Threads account and really haven't messed with it too much, kind of sticking with the Twitter thing, but we may have to go full Threads on this one and jump in with the Z.
What is the deal with that? What are they doing?
Dude, I don't know. So that's been in the headlines the last couple of days that Elon's going to start charging to use all users for Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it now.
Oh, I'll be off immediately.
So that's, yeah, I know. Yeah, we don't even want to pay for a blue check mark. Did you see this? So I was just kind of skimming around for stuff today. Prosper ISD is kind of making the news right now.
What's going on up there?
$2.8 billion bond on the next ballot. 2.8 billion with a B.
Wow.
With a B.
So what are they building? A college?
You would think, right? So I got curious, right? So I went to they have a bond page, right? So since 2000 or 2002, they had 1,000 students in 3 campuses. Jump to 2023, 28,000 students in 25 campuses.
Wow.
It's the fastest growing area in the state. Toyota just moved their headquarters there, and that place is just booming. If you go to their bond website, they've got one of those like little overlay things over a map.
So it's the next Allen?
Essentially, but they've got 2 high schools. They've got Prosper High School and Rock Hill High School in that district. I would think they'd need another high school.
I want to say you got the Prosper Eagles or something, right? Or
yeah, it's the Prosper Eagles and the Rock Hill Hawks, I think. So in that, there's a $104 million for like athletic upgrades. They're going to build a new stadium, another 8,000 seat stadium. Their current stadium holds 12,000 right now. It was opened in 2019. They had a $2.1 billion bond back in 2019. I couldn't find if it passed or not, because I remember a few years ago that bonds weren't passing. So I don't know if that one passed or not, but they are with their students right now. I mean, they are in the red big time. So right now, I think they're paying it's like 96,000 per kid enrolled in debt. They are right now. If this bond passes, it's going to be like 125K per kid enrolled. I could not believe that. That's an astounding number. 2.8 billion with a B.
You know what's crazy is like we were just talking about the other day how Portland seems behind. And you made a great point. Like you're never going to get ahead of the growth and building for the growth, right? Like you just can't, right? You have to build while it's kind of happening, and then you're behind, and because growth happens faster than the building. But dude, talk about just being. That just seems like a wave, right? Like insurmountable to overcome. I think it's wild too. Like we're having trouble down here passing. People are freaking out over like $500,000 bonds. These dudes are passing $2.8 billion, or they're trying. That's crazy.
Yeah, I think they're building a performing arts center. So it's not just athletics, right? They're building a performing arts center, upgrading all the 25 campuses they have there, all kinds of stuff, right? But that was a crazy. I couldn't believe that.
Melissa thought they had the best stadium. Watch, right?
Well, no, this isn't even a big one. It's 8,000 seat. It's a small one.
What's the deal with that? I mean,
because the other seat's 12, I guess. It's a nice stadium. Like I said, it was.
So they'll have 2.
2019, so they'll have 2. Yeah.
I just wonder if I bet you they end up having 3 or 4 high schools eventually.
You would think, right? I mean,
they're going to have it seems like they're probably gearing up for, right? So you have 2 and 2. Kind of Cadmus and Buck.
Yeah, something. Yeah, probably.
What side of Dallas is that on? Southeast?
Man,
East?
I think it's on the north side.
The north side?
I'd have to look at it.
Wow, that's crazy. Just give me another powerhouse, right?
Yeah, I guess. So the other big thing popping up this week, we haven't really talked about it a whole lot, but because we've kind of waited out of those territories. But PSJ North and Vela played this week.
Okay,
they play on Friday night, biggest game of the year down in the Valley. Right now, depending who you talk to, it's actually everybody's saying North's going to win that one. Vela's having some problems with defense. Ale is back. I think he came back last week. I think he came back with Actually, it was Vela that played McAllen, squeaked by McAllen. I think it was like 28-21. I think kind of shocked a lot of people. I guess the Valley insiders, people down there in the know, weren't really surprised by that. Like, there's Q. North is on a low. They are big time. We had a conversation about North earlier in the week, Justin. Would you like to share that conversation?
Oh yeah, they're just.
I'm just trying to avoid talking about last week because it was bad.
I just think I enjoyed watching North play last year because for me, you're watching straight up bully ball, right? They bullied Miller when they played him. And Miller had, I think they definitely had the more finesse on that team. But dude, those boys in the trenches for North offensively were just pounding and pounding and pounding, and on the defensive side, man, they're just tough. And when we talked about kind of the difference there, and like I just felt like last year, our Veterans Memorial up here, the reason why they won that game and Miller didn't, isn't because Vets was just like so outstandingly more athletic than Miller. But dude, they were just more physical up front. That defensive line from Veterans last year was extremely physical. They were talented. The offensive line for Vets stood tall against that Vela defense, and then I'm sorry, the North defense, and like little things that we are talking about. You watch some of those offensive linemen down there, and like they're a little dirty. Not in like these dudes need to be ejected from a game, but like they definitely make you pay. Like you're playing 4 quarters against them, dude. You're gonna feel it the next day. Like they get you on the ground, they're gonna rub you a little bit. They're gonna drive you. It's just they play tough, dude. And then you have Ale. He runs that wing T they got down there extremely well. He's a very tough runner. I was a little shocked he came back early. I think we had talked about earlier that he was just going to be like a kind of use if they had to because the backup had been doing so good. And I guess they said, we're going to get him going before Vela. So I think North's going to take Vela this week. I think they'll take him kind of handily.
Yep.
And I think, if Coastal Bend teams, dude, you better be on notice because North is coming to play, dude. And they bring back a lot of the same kids from last year's team, right? So for me, I'm already coining Miller, right, to be the team to match up with those dudes eventually. So like, it's going to be interesting to see how our Miller, if they adjusted this offseason and worked, to get to that level of toughness that North brought. Because outside of that, man, Miller had them pegged on athleticism. It was just that interior toughness. I felt like that was the edge to North, and that's how they grinded them out. And I said by like halftime, you're looking at some of the Miller kids, man, they were tired, dude. Like they weren't wanting to get after it as hard as they were. You start hitting them linebackers with those big old 285-pound linemen, dude, and they start getting like, I don't know if I want to hit that hole as hard. And I mean that's how North beats you. And it's fun. It's kind of fun to watch because they come intimidated you. They wear all black paint. They're there to make people kind of shake a little bit. So they're a fun team. If you get a chance to watch them, watch them.
Yeah. If it wasn't too far, we'd have to work. We got a lot of stuff going on this weekend, so that's why we're not making that trip down to the valley. But so that was kind of the BS that we go through at the beginning of the show every week. So let's jump into last week, which was not very good.
Horrible.
For the stat lines. Thank God for no contests. Right. So the first one, there weren't very many games that got done. The first one that we want to talk about is Gregory Portland at Bernie. 50-22 Bernie. We both lost that one. We both had GP in that one. We weren't sure about that Bernie team, if they were actually good or not, based on, that loss to Flower Bluff and how Flower Bluff was performing. We'll get to Flower Bluff in a little bit. But man, it Bernie started off fast and it just snowballed for the Wildcats, man. We were at the Cal Allen game, so we were just kind of getting updates as the game went on through text and just kind of peeking in here and there. But man, what happened?
So I didn't watch it. Never went back and watched it either. I was getting the text updates from my brother-in-law. We're both GP dudes, and he's going to tell you how it is, right? He didn't sugarcoat it, and he basically told me, dude, we came out flat again. Turnovers killing us, killing ourselves on turnovers. Our special teams killing us. That Bernie team is very talented. It just makes you question what happened to Bluff and those little lulls they had right there. But they just were more physical than Portland. and I think it's a wake up call the Cats needed. But like I told you, I'm like, it's disappointing for me as a fan because I look at this as like, okay, from here on out, the rest of the season until you get to Flower Bluff, I'm not going to overlook Port Lavaca. Port Lavaca always plays tough, but like once you hit district for right now, where us and the Bluff are at, man, it's kind of like you better win those games. 'Cause if you lose those games, there's a problem. Um, but as soon as you hit those playoffs, dude, like round 1 and 2, you should get by. But like our hurdle is a third round like San Antonio area team like Bernie. And this game early on just shows me that like we're not quite there yet. We're not ready to make that hurdle. So there's a lot of work that I think needs to get done. And I'm not going to critique it too much because I'm not there day in day out in the building like they are. I'm sure they know, but it's just as a fan, it's frustrating seeing them take that L. But I've said it many times before. Like I think everyone needs to get a wake up call like that. So I'm hoping to see them kind of fire off early. I've been talking about it since like week 2. We need to get going faster. When that offense needs to get clicking faster. The defense can only do so much. They're strong, but you got to get going faster, and that's just kind of what it is.
Yeah. To answer a couple of questions, GP did not get a no contest. That game finished. Justin wishes it was a no contest.
Absolutely.
And we'll get to that Cal Allen a little bit. I'm not going to jump into that yet, but yeah, GP game, that game did finish. It wasn't Bernie. They didn't experience the weather that we had down here on Friday night, so that game did get done for our picks, unfortunately.
We both took it.
Next game on the docket, Alice at Flower Bluff. We both lost that one too, 21-7 Flower Bluff. That game got to the half. I don't know if it was ruled a no contest or not. I thought it was, but it's showing up as a loss for Alice. So what I heard in that one, Mim scored 21 points in the second quarter. Actually, in the first quarter, I think. Palacio and him connected for 3 touchdowns, and they kind of took off real fast. And then I heard as the weather started to turn, Alice started to finally get in their groove. But they didn't come back from the half on that one. Quentin, you were at that game, right? Let's hear a little bit on how that turned out. Was it a no contest? We'll wait for your answer. But in the meantime, let's talk about what's going on with the Bluff.
I don't know. I think there's a lot of people I've talked to that when you talk about Jaden Palacio, he's one of the best quarterbacks in this area. Him and Trevor Long, I think, are leading the charge right now. But if you really go back to that Cal Allen game, and Q brings it up right now, the passing game was on point for Bluff last week. If you go back and watch the Cal Allen game, there was a lot of drops that they could have had a touchdown on. And me and you, I don't know if you, I don't want to say me and you talked about it briefly, but this just catches that they were catching week 1 against Bernie, they weren't catching in that game. Cal Allen put a little bit of heat on them defensively, and then the Bluff couldn't stop the run. That's what killed them. Ultimately, they fell behind. And then, the drops didn't help. So, if the Bluff had the passing game going against Alice, that's a concern for me as a Wildcat fan moving on down because I think our secondary needs a lot of help right now. So I just think, if the Bluff's receiving core is starting to gel again on Palacio, that they're going to start putting people on notice with some big games. I would question the defense in the run game because they allowed Cal Allen to run all over them. And I saw Cuero start clamping down on Cal Allen a little bit.
Hey, save it. So that's later.
I'm just, I'll get to that. But so I'm saying, I just think it's a little concerning for me. Normally, the Bluff has a really strong defense for whatever you throw at them.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure, man. I didn't really watch the Laredo game. That's a 6A team they played. But, if you can't catch the ball, dude, it don't matter how good your quarterback is or how good your receivers are. It ain't ever going to click for you. So, Q's more tapped in probably with FB because he's getting a pass to go to their games, unlike us. But
there's that horse again.
But I mean, that would be my general thought process of what I think is going on with Flower Bluff is just not really in sync right now with each other. It looks like they were getting there against Alice again.
The running game is lacking, right? I mean, we talked about it. They hadn't really found that runner since Isaac Miles, right? They hadn't had that every down back that they've had since he graduated a few years ago. And I think that's still kind of the issue, right?
Yeah, there you go, Q. See, Q, that's a good explanation. It really is.
Yeah, so if you guys can't see it, GP's defended the run very well this year. Bluff has not. That seems to be the difference between versus Cal Allen. Yeah, I mean, they kind of smothered.
We couldn't stop the pass against Bernie, and Bluff honestly has a pretty good secondary. That makes a lot more sense to me.
And if you guys didn't see that, so it was a no contest for Alice Bluff. So that doesn't count as a loss for us, dude. That game does not count.
Yeah, yo.
So there's that one, right? So there's that in our favor. Beeville at number 10, Somerset. Beeville with the upset, 24-21. Not a whole lot of info on that game. You know, the here's and there's that I saw from that was that Somerset had the chance to win. They made too many mistakes, but you hear that a lot from losing teams, right? We beat ourselves, right?
Yeah.
What's the truth? We weren't there. I hadn't seen a stream of it, so I can't tell you. But you know, we both picked Somerset in that one. We both lost. Robbie Chavez, very convincing individual, sold us on that one big time.
Dude, Robbie. Last year, it's because last year I went against him just to go against you and him because y'all were all amped up on Somerset in that Bernie game. And I was like, yeah, right, dude. Bernie's got these dudes. And I was over here feeling good about myself. And then this year I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go with Robbie over Beeville. And took the L there. Thanks a lot, Chavez.
So that gave Coach Souza win 194. It's got a big game coming up this week. I think that 4-game win streak may stop, but we'll talk about that in a bit. Then that brings us to our game of the week, Cuero at Calallen. Ruled a no contest, depending who you're talking to, right? So somebody had commented on there. Calallen, depends who you talk to on that, right? So DCTF is giving Calallen the win on that because their policy is there was a disagreement, right? So if you guys hadn't heard about this disagreement, the disagreement
DCTF's giving Cuero the win.
Yeah, they're giving Cuero the win.
That's what's got people in an uproar.
Based on DCTF's kind of guidelines, and they're going off. There is no UIO rule for no contests or weather delayed games for a non-district game because they don't count towards the playoffs to making the playoffs, or they don't count as advancing in the playoffs. So they leave it up to the coaches. If the coaches agree, hey, no contest, then it's a no contest. If one coach does not want to rule no contest and wants to wait, and the other rules it no contest, they leave it up to the coaches. That's up to them. Hence why Cuero's calling theirs a win, and Calallen's calling it a no contest. Cuero was leading at the half, 22-8, 22-14. We were there. The feeling in the stadium that we got was Cuero was about to turn it, right? Going into the half. You know, they seem to clamp down on Sebastian Dennis, who's a heck of an athlete. The guy was getting some broken plays and extended plays and making some plays, making first downs. Luke Medina does his Luke Medina thing. I think Luke Medina is probably the best running back in the area right now.
Yeah. Pound for pound, he's probably one of the best football players in the area.
Yeah, he's got that start and stop. He can stop on a dime and take off like a slingshot from that stop. He is quick.
Dude, so they said this is from a guy that's got a kid on that team that's in that locker room with him. I think he's bench pressing close to 500 pounds and squatting 600. I would like someone to chime in on that if that's like legit, because, dude, that's crazy. He's not the biggest dude in the world.
No, he's not. He's not. You know I think we talked about it last week. He's a competitive swimmer, so he's got the lungs. He could run for days.
He's like, have you ever seen like the little cartoon? What is it, the Road Runner, when he's like going and he like speeds up and just plows right through? Or maybe it's the Tasmanian Devil. One of them. It's one of those old school cartoons. You'll see him like going and then he just speeds up and like plows right through it. When you watch him run the ball, especially from the sidelines, the angles we get, dude, like he just hits the hole. He hits the line hard, man. There was a touchdown that he got that it looked like they were going to hold him up at the 3-yard line, and he just burrowed his way through because it's just pure force. And we like Luke, man. Luke was one of our guys last year that we got stickers to. We talked, off camera about how good of a football player he really was. To me, that dude's carrying this team, right? The quarterback, Sebastian, he's does good, but man, like his thing is he's going to do busted plays and beat you, right? And to me, like it's going to be fine down here. He's going to do fine. They're going to win. Y'all are going to win games. Get excited, right? You're going to win. But when you get down to the second and third round, you start seeing teams that have the size or the speed to kind of hang with you. Like that's where you're going to get clamped down, man. They're going to clamp down on Luke as much as they can, and those busted plays, end up turning into losses because you can't out athlete somebody, and that's where he ultimately. I mean, that's what happened against him in Bernie last year. ultimately. And that's Callan's in the same boat GP is in right now. It's just like that third round hump seems to be like it's going to be like the kind of nail in the coffin on all of us, unless some things start happening. The energy, like you said, was turning Cuero's side rapidly. People are I don't understand why are we going to cry about this thing, man? Like the argument over this has been wild to me. Like let Cuero have their win, and take your no contest, man, and run off to your forms and be happy about it. Like whatever. Like who cares, dude? There's no massive records on the line here. It is what it is. Like, Campbell's really good at making adjustments, but you're kind of a one-trick pony, okay? Don't get too excited. And Cuero was starting to open up that passing game against you. Your corners were getting beat at past 10 yards of coverage. Go back and look at that game, right? Very questionable no call on a touchdown. Could have very easily been 29-14. There's a lot of what ifs. You what ifs to death. I think Callan's a solid team. I think Cuero's a solid team. It's disappointing for me because I was wanting to get that second half in bad. You sit there in the parking lot in the pouring rain waiting on it. It just didn't happen for us. And, it is what it is. It's tough, but Beeville's going to have their hands full moving forward. It's a good Cuero team, dude. It's a very good Cuero team.
It's a very good Cuero team. And you just like you said, Shane just commented here, you don't think Callan was going to make those adjustments. We talked about that at the game. We talked about that, like what kind of adjustments are going to come out, but we'll never know. We'll never know. You'll never know if those adjustments will make a difference, right? I mean, we won't know, and it sucks because that was going to be a very good football game. I mean, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. It was a good game in the first half. It was going to be a good game in the second half.
They want Silsby. That's who they want, Tovar. They want Silsby.
Oh yeah, they want Silsby. That's who they're looking at now, and that's who they think their next biggest game is going to be. They probably won't see anybody as talented as this Cal Allen team until they see Silsby again in the playoffs.
Yep, that's straight from their mouth.
Yep. So there was that one. So we finished off the week. Now that was a no contest, 0-2.
0-2.
0-2. So we that brings you to 22-7, and I'm down to 20-9.
Yeah.
So still 2 games different.
This tab over here so I can make sure.
Hang on. Okay, so we didn't get a lot of submissions from last week and this week because there was a lot of no contests in the area. A lot of the games got canceled. I think Sitten didn't even kick off last week, and a lot of them got canceled in the second half, or they went to halftime and never came back. Right. So with that, hang on, let me move some stuff around before I bring this video here. No, that's not what I wanted. Keep talking, man. Nobody likes dead air.
Sometimes dead air is good things. Just kidding. No, man, it's crazy how fast the season's moving right now. And last week was just a buzzkill across the board. I was originally going to go to Sinton. Had Cuero, keep this in mind, Cal Allen folk, keep this in mind. Had Cuero not gotten us the hookup, which we've never had a problem in the past with Cal Allen. It's not like we're first timers here. We've been in that field a lot. Had Cuero not gotten us the hookup, we wouldn't even be able to cover a good game. And and we ended up getting a really good highlight for your kids that made it to Channel 6. So we're not Cal Allen haters. And we're not crying about not getting credentials. But we want to try to hit the best game in town of the week, and it stinks. I'm going back to it, I know, a little bit, but it just stinks, thank you for Cuero getting us out there. Michael Cantu, right? Michael Cantu.
Yeah, I forgot about that. Thanks, Mike, for getting us in, especially last minute, man. Sergio, our South Texas Bloodsport guy, hooked us up with that. He put us into contact with Mike, and Mike squared us away.
And that's because I got buddies on that Cal Allen staff, and I talked to them at the game about what was going on, and they were both blown away, like, really? Like, they were shocked, Yeah. So, I mean, we've been here before.
We get a lot, dude, because of this, dude. We got a lot of hate saying we're Cal Allen homers. I'm like,
no, dude.
Okay,
my son has a Cal Allen fan club,
or we're Cuero homers, right? That's what it was. We're Cuero homers. But last year we got a lot of flack for being Cal Allen homers, right? So we hate everybody's crowd. We hate everybody's team. That's what it is. We hate your team. Okay, that's what it is. We hate everybody's team. We hate everybody's team equally. Whoever your team is playing, we're a homer for that team. Let's just lay it out that way, okay?
That's fair.
All right, so I got it here. So we got our players of the week. I think we got 6 submissions this week, and I got a couple late. So I will play those after this video here. Actually, you know what? This is too small. I'm going to take this off, and I'm just going to share screen with the other one because it'll take up the whole screen. So let me do that real quick. All right, here we go. Jeremiah Pacheco had a very good game last week. 1 blocked field goal for a touchdown, 2 interceptions. One of those went for a touchdown. Here's that blocked field goal, and here's the interception here. Flower Bluff's or TM's defense, and we'll talk about this in a little bit. They are number 2 in the state in scoring defense right now, only allowing 4 points per game.
Really?
Yeah.
Big
Coach
move for
Varial.
James there,
Yeah,
right?
Coach Varial doing something pretty special over there on that defensive side of the ball. Here's our token 6-man highlight. Kagan Setliff, man. This guy, I gotta make it out to a game, dude. I know I keep saying this every week. These guys got no contest to with a rain delay at halftime. But this was from 2 weeks ago.
Who was up
because remember, we didn't have any highlights the week before.
Who was up in the Arlington Heights, and did you ever see?
I'd have to ask him again. He's probably watching. Maybe he'll chime in here in a little bit.
Jaden.
Yep. He had 6 catches. 4 of those went for touchdowns. And what I liked about this, there was a lot of highlights. What I liked about this is these are all bubble little dump offs.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And he's making it. You know, these aren't deep throws where it's just catch. I mean, he's getting a lot of yards after catch on these things.
Jaden's lighting the state up, really. When you look at it across the board.
Actually, I think he's leading the nation in or top 10 in the nation in receptions or
good buddy Dave.
I'd have to go back again and look.
Yeah, our good buddy McHugh over there, the OC. He said he tweeted something the other day, and I retweeted it and I glanced at it real quick. I was kind of having a busy day, and I need to go back and look at it. But I know it had to do something with Jaden, pretty much putting pretty much the state on notice. And his little brother Jordan's doing a heck of a job too over there, man. It's a crazy little tandem they got right now.
Yep. So this is from 2 weeks ago. Cody Sells tied in for Three Rivers against Taft. Three Rivers, man. We may have to make it down or make it out to Three Rivers for that Refugio game this year. They're beating people.
Yeah, they. I feel like last year they were beating people too. Whenever they came to Refugio, that's why we went over there, and then it was like, what happened?
Yeah.
We'll see, though. I mean, honestly, this has been a weird year for me and you, man. The games and like our time off has just not been the most favorable at all for us.
So Trayon Verns, defensive back West Oso, 7 tackles, 1 forced fumble, and 2 sacks. This kid he's a freshman and got moved up on Wednesday before the game.
Baller.
So expect to hear this guy's name a lot the rest of the season and the next 3 years.
Yeah. Who sent this in? Did he send this in?
Coach Zubia sent it in.
Cool. I'm about to say, dang, dude, he was watching in 8th grade for these.
So, and the other 2 I got up. So I had an example sent to us today because the big boys never get any love. The defensive lineman, the offensive lineman. So I wanted to show you folks that it is possible to get offensive line highlights or defensive line highlights. You ready? You ready for this?
Let's see it.
Are you ready?
Yeah, let's see it. Oh, yeah.
Future dog in the making here.
Where's he at, dude? Lavelle better chime in on here.
Oh, he better be watching. I told him what I needed. So this is how you want to get a lineman highlight on here. All right. Elijah here's in 7th grade, and he's just pushing people around, man. But see how he's highlighting the lineman? You could do this. You could do this. We want to reward the big boys, Yep. So there's that. And not even 2 minutes after I asked for that request from Marcus, I get a lineman highlight.
There we go.
Yeah. So of course there's no music on here because I got it after the fact after I delayed it. But
hey, linemen don't need music, dude. They just show them do their job, pal, and eat lunch.
Yeah. So, I mean, like I said, there's not really a whole lot of highlights. We didn't do 2 weeks of highlights.
No.
You know, I'm cool. I'm cool giving everybody a sticker, man.
So I got
You know?
a little text from Dave from Ingleside McHugh.
Uh huh.
So JC is number one. That's Jaden is number one in the nation in receiving touchdowns and number 10 in yards.
Okay.
Texas, he's number two for the yards. It's crazy.
Yeah.
That's good numbers down here, dude. That's good numbers across the state. It's good numbers across the nation. And then it's like with Jaden, dude. People ask me, hey, how come you went to the Ingleside and the Aransas pass game? I'll tell you why. I mean, right off the bat, Jaden. It's not every day you can see a D1 receiver like that in your backyard, you know. And he impressed, of course, when we saw him. So it's just if you haven't got a chance to see Jaden, you don't got a team you like to root for, go check out an Ingleside game, man. They're an exciting offense. They got good athletes. Jordan's also really good. Aiden, the quarterback, plays really well for him. So it's fun. It's fun. High flying. Coach Chrisman does a good job over there. Coaches do a good job over there defensively too. So fun team right now.
Yeah. So before we jump into next week, there was another thing I wanted to share. Channel 6 did a story this morning on a kid from Mathis, and we kind of talked about him when they played Taft on the Friday night game night. It's a little 2-minute video I just want to share. I reached out to Larissa. She never answered me, but I'm going to share it anyways just because I think it's a good story. So I'm going to share my screen one more time, and if you guys will bear with me here.
Do you got any sound on that, or is there any sound on that, Jacob?
Is there no sound? I hear sound on my side. There's no sound on your side?
I'm not getting any sound on my side from it.
Oh, man.
Yeah, no sound for me. Okay.
You hear it now?
No. There's still no sound, but I know where you're going with this.
Yeah, I'm going to.
We can
Man, I
talk
don't
about
know.
it.
I don't know why it does that because I can hear it on my end. I don't know why it's not showing up on the feed.
Because it's
Well,
part of how we do things, dude. You know
of course,
this.
dude. Of course. I hear it and I think, oh, great, everybody's gonna be able to hear it. I guess not. So, I don't know why we didn't do this in week one. I think he scored like 3 touchdowns already this season.
Really?
So yeah, I think he scored his first one the first week of the season, I think he may have scored every game so far. But I'd like to give a sticker to Bobby. So if anybody in the Mathis community, Rick, I know you watch the show. Give me an address where we can send it to, or even better, if we're off, maybe we can make our way down there to Mathis and and do a little presentation for Bobby over there. He likes to go by Bobby Chief Patrick Mahomes. I guess he's a big Mahomes fan.
Oh, right on.
But
I'd be down to do that.
but I think that's a pretty neat thing that they're doing over there in Mathis. So keep your eyes out next time the Pirates come to your town. You may see the superstar over there. I think he's going to lead the team in touchdowns this year. So let's jump into
mom's friend Melinda. She's on the school board. I bet you she could get us somehow tapped into that as well.
Okay. Let's see what we can do, right? So let's jump into next week, week 5. One Thursday night game, Flower Bluff at Rockport. Last season, Flower Bluff took that one 38-13. Flower Bluff is 1-2, coming off a no contest with Alice. Rockport 0-4, 41-18 loss to Orange Grove. That game was also delayed, and I think they ended up finishing that one out as well. And I don't. Rockport's struggling right now, right? They've got some lean years coming up. They're coming off a lean year last year. Coach Seibert's last year there. I think Bluff continues their winning streak here. I think they pick up from that Alice win and kind of roll. I think they may have found their way.
Yeah. I'm seeing it the same way you are on this one. I think the Bluffs got just a little too much right now for Rockport to kind of contest with. Go, take yourself back to that Miller game with Rockport right now. I think the secondary is gonna have a hard time again with these Flower Bluff receivers. It probably won't be as big of a spread that Miller one was because I do think Rockport has improved
Yeah,
since that
they're getting
first week.
better.
Last week, heck, they were up a little bit in that game before kind of crescendoed on them. But yeah, I look to see Flower Bluff continue to move forward and continue to get right as they head into district next week. So I'm taking the Bluff as well with you on that one.
The prognosticators at Dave Campbell's have Flower Bluff by 35% and a 99% win probability.
That's fair.
Yeah. So Friday. So we've got Sitting at Lavernia, rematch of a pretty wild game last year. If you remember that one, Sitting's quarterback went down the fourth quarter. They were leading in the fourth quarter. Sitting quarterback went down and allowed Lavernia to get back in the game and actually take the win in that one. Lavernia just jumping up in the rankings. They're at number 10. They are 4-0 this season. Last season, like I said, it was a nail biter, 28-27 Lavernia. Sitting's 1-2 with a no contest with Edna. Like I said, it didn't even kick off last week, and Lavernia's 4-0 with a 39-22 win over Navarro. They're beating people. They're averaging between 39 and 49 points a game right now. They're a big physical team. They brought back 7-7 as far as starters go. They're being led by quarterback Keegan Hike. That J's probably silent. Hajck.
Hayek, maybe.
Yeah, Hayek. He started the last 4 games last year as a sophomore. I think he threw for 400 yards last year. Right now, he's got 681 yards passing, 6 touchdowns, 294 rushing yards, 6 touchdowns. He's leading the team in rushing as well. Wide receiver Colton Schmidt, he's his number 1 target, had 422 receiving yards, 5 touchdowns. Little point of interest here: the backup quarterback has played in all 4 games, so they're probably pulling starters.
Yeah.
If I'm going with my gut, I'm going to say Lavernia.
Yeah.
I think Sitton's doing better. Hanson settling in the role. The defense has got to step up a little more. I think they've got to establish that running game a little more.
My Sinton buddies are going to be upset with me. but yeah, I think Lavernia's got a little too much right now in the wheelhouse for Sinton. Having that no contest last week definitely doesn't help you out because you don't get the game reps that you need. So it's almost like having a bye week, And sometimes those bye weeks can get kind of set you back a little bit. Your kids get out of that rhythm that they've been in. You just start the season off 3 games deep, and you get like a bye. You get pretty much a bye week. It kind of hurts. And I think Lavernia's got a little more test right now to him than Sinton has. So yeah, I'm going to take Lavernia in this one.
All right, next game we got a Port Lavaca Calhoun at Gregory Portland. Last season was 41-22 GP. GP's 3-1, coming off that loss to Bernie that we talked about earlier, 50-22. Calhoun's 2-2. They lost to a heartbreaker to Yoakum last week, 20-19. Lost that one in the last second. Man, I don't know much about what Port Lavaca brings back. I reached out to a guy who actually got after us in our messages saying, y'all are just like the Advocate. Y'all don't talk about Port Lavaca. I was like, well, I guess you didn't watch the show because we just talked about Port Lavaca.
It's hard to get coverage on those dudes, man. They're like out that they're right outside our zone, and like you're right. Like I said, we lean on the Caller Times and people sometimes for these outer bands around our area, and so we lean on the Advocate for stuff sometimes or Furio or Shiner or Aquero or Goliad,
or
the
people
schools.
Or fans.
Yeah, fans. We lean on fans a lot. And Port Lavaca hasn't been the most active with us as of late.
Nope.
That being said, if it's the same old Port Lavaca Calhoun in the run game, like Quinn said, Portland's defended the run pretty well. I will take GP. I'm going to ride this till the wheels fall off. It is what it is. But I don't know, man. I really do not know what you get with Port Lavaca Calhoun. I can tell you this, though.
I don't either.
If you don't come and you don't play a sound ball game, they're going to give you hell. I know that for a fact. So this will be interesting to see how the Cats come out against them, But I'll take GP in this game, but they better come to play, or else you could be sitting there with an L really fast with Port Lavaca.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Dave Campbell's on this one. They have GP by 26 with a 96% win probability. So I'm going to go with GP in that one as well. I think they got a bad taste in their mouth after that 29-point drubbing they took last week.
Also woke them up.
Time to get back on the tracks.
Yep.
Next game we got small school Orange Grove at San Diego. This should be a pretty good one. Last season was 27-6 Orange Grove. Orange Grove is currently 2-2. We just talked about them. 41-18 win over Rockport Fulton. San Diego 3-0. No contest. They were leading 10-3 at the half over Odom. Another game that never came out of halftime. San Diego, man, their goal is to run the ball down your throat. That's their goal. Jaden Lozano, they're easing him in. He's got 289 passing yards, 3 touchdowns on the season. Running back Nick Lueta's got 293 on the ground, 4 touchdowns. And their defense is pretty salty, man. Jason Salinas is leading the team with 2 interceptions. There's 3 others with 1. And again, they just want to pound the ball. Orange Grove, I mean, what haven't we said about Orange Grove? Logan Rodriguez, he's leading the area, big school and small school in passing yards. He's got 1,223 passing yards, 20 touchdowns. He's also got 346 rushing yards and 3 touchdowns. Wide receiver Michael Syons is the leader on that team, 427 yards receiving, 8 touchdowns. But they spread the wealth a lot with 2 other receivers as well. Their defense, they're putting up some pretty salty numbers. Seth Barnes is number 3 in the area in tackles with 36. Isaiah Solis, 32. Jaden Hubble, 31 tackles. Brady Jenkins has 3 interceptions in the secondary. Greg Carrillo and Lyndon Rodriguez also have an interception each. So the defense is producing, man. The offense is chunking out numbers. DCTF has San Diego by 2 with a 53% win probability. So that tells me it can go either way. I'm gonna go with Orange Grove in this one.
You're taking OG?
I am.
I'll take San Diego.
Odom played them pretty tough last week. I think probably the toughest anybody's played them so far. I mean, San Diego's been putting up a lot of points, man. Like I said, that defense is salty. They've got a lot of human rockets on that team that don't really care about harming themselves. So, I mean, their defense is pretty salty too, man. So it should be a very good game.
The Blue Turf Smurfs.
Yeah, the Blue Turf Smurfs, man. So we got another game here. It's a district opener, right? CCSD is opening up district this week as well. Not very many marquee games. Why we're not really talking about them. The biggest one coming out of CCSD, probably the tradition-rich game, is a Hall of Fame game. Miller versus Ray. Not really going to talk about that too much. Just thought I'd throw that in there. Everybody comes back this week.
We're going to pick it?
We can, I guess. I'm not going to go too in-depth on it. I'm going to pick Miller. I mean.
Yeah.
I'll
take a cheap win.
Yeah.
Back up a little bit.
This one, I was hoping this one was going to be on Thursday night because I would have liked to go watch this one. Kingsville at Teloso Midway. This is a district opener for these guys. So last season, it was 54-20 Teloso Midway. Kingsville's 2-2, coming off a 17-13 heartbreaking last-second loss to London, and TM's 4-0, first time since 2009. They've been 4-0, coming off a 40-0 win over West Oso. I'll let you take the lead on this one.
Give me TM to go 5-0 for the first time in I don't know how long, and that's because I ride with Kingsville.
I was going to say you're going to pick.
I've been riding with Ruben and them all year, and at first I thought about this one. I was like, I'm going to go Kingsville, and then I took it back, man. I think TM, dude. I think they're rolling pretty good. We've worked there together the last 6 years. There's something going on there right now, dude, and it's kind of cool to see because it's never happened before like this. I feel like there's a lot of it seems like community buy-in to the program. From the top down, you see the youth football league, and we've hounded on this a little bit beforehand. I just think, dude, there's just the buy-ins there. The people are believing in it. And I'm going to believe in it again for this week. And I'm going to take TM 5-0 on it. I think the defense is going to be playing good enough. Kingsville losing to London scares me a little bit. I think TM's a better team than London right now. So I think what's going on in Kingsville is great. I just think they got a little more building blocks to get to before they take out TM. So, I'm gonna roll with the Cherokees on this one, and are the Warriors? It's the Warriors, right? Or Cherokees?
The Cherokees are the girl side.
Okay. I could never remember, but for real though, I used to think in my head it was always the Cherokees back. So the Warriors. We'll take the Warriors. Give me TM, dude.
Okay, I've got TM too. Kingsville, they've got some playmakers though. Dylan Everett's coming out on his own this season. He's got 318 rushing yards, 3 touchdowns, 618 passing yards, 3 touchdowns. I think DJ Flores had commented before the season started that this guy's going to turn some heads, and he's doing what he said he was going to do.
Yep.
You know, they've got some playmakers on the outside. Terrell Jackson, wide receiver. Donovan Bensky's the other. John Kason's leading the area in tackles, big school and small school, 44 tackles. Again, TM, number 2 scoring defense in 4A D1, averaging 4 points a game, led by Alex Olivares, Jaden Kemp, Jeremiah Garza. Man, they like I said, they've got a lot of playmakers. The offensive side of the ball, Damian Figueroa's got 533 rushing yards, 5 touchdowns. Jeremiah Garza, like I said, has got 4 interceptions. He leads the area. Jeremiah Pacheco's got 2. He's got that pick 6 that we showed earlier. And there's 2 more guys that have 1 interception apiece on that defense. So bunch of ball hawks, man. Bunch of ball hawks. That brings us to our next game. Actually, let's go. DCTF has TM winning by 30 with a 99% win probability.
Wow, that's a big spread. That's bigger than I was thinking.
Yeah. So Cuero at Beeville. Last season, 82-28 Cuero. Cuero's 3-0, 4-0, depending how you want to look at it. I know Calallen fans is looking at it 3-0, Cuero fans 4-0, right? Last week, a 22-14 at the half. No contest by Calallen standards, a win by Cuero standards. Beeville's 4-0 coming off that 24-21 win over number 10 Somerset. I'd like to watch a Beeville game this year. I'd like to see what Beeville has in person. You know, I'd like to see them pass my eyeball test. I've seen Cuero. I think Cuero takes this one.
Yeah, I think I go with Cuero as well on this one. Pedigree, man.
Yeah.
I think they got the team. I think they're going to make a big run in that classification of football. Not taking nothing away from Beeville, man. They're impressing me so far.
Yep.
You know, I just think Cuero. I've seen Cuero. We saw him last week. I think they're going to continue that win streak, no contest streak, whatever you want to call it, again this week, and I'm going to roll with the Gobblers.
Oh, man, and that brings us to our game of the week, which is another district opener. Odom at Taft in the Back Road Brawl. Last season, 33-26 Taft. Odom is 1-2, coming off a no contest with San Diego. Taft is 1-3 with a 36-0 loss to Robstown. That game actually got called early as well, but I guess they decided to not call it a no contest and give the win to Robstown. Taft played without JJ Acosta last week. He's sad. I heard he was under the protocol last week, so he sat out last week. So he'll be back for this week against Odom. Odom, like I said, their defense has been playing pretty good this season with the exception of that Tidehaven game, but nobody can stop Tidehaven. I mean, Tidehaven's putting up a lot of points and putting up a lot of yards. I think the week after they played Odom, they put up another goose egg and another 59 points on the board. So Tidehaven's on a roll. Yeah. Odom's got some playmakers. Aiden Martinez on the outside. Trey Canales on the outside. Josh Chavita, who's the quarterback who's stepping in this season, is doing a pretty good job, you know, considering it's his first year starting at quarterback. He started at wide receiver last year. From what I've seen on Taft, man, they are hurting on the lines. Just from the 2 games I watched against Three Rivers and against Mathis, they're really struggling there. Odom as well. You know, Odom's got 2 or 3 freshmen on the offensive line and the defensive side of the ball. So it's growing pains for both sides. Kind of this district as a whole is wide open. That's what I'm seeing. Typical fashion, you know, I went and got the trophy today. And I tried pulling this up earlier, and it wasn't coming out because it's so shiny. It's melting in. It's blended in with the green board. So I got the trophy today, and I did not get any placards on it because I waited till today to get it instead of a week after I handed it out last year.
Rock on, baby.
So I put the placards on order today, so they should be ready sometime next week, right? But when I went to go pick it up today at Taft, you know, they were all, where are you going with our trophy? You know, because when I got there, they were all getting out of athletics. And I'm walking out of the field house and I'm like, hey man, it comes back. Are you guys gonna take it back this season? You know, are you gonna keep it? Or and they're all in agreement thinking they're gonna win it. So, you know, I do like I know the Taft kids watch because one of them stopped me and said, I'm gonna get one of those helmet stickers this week. Watch, awesome. I'm gonna get one. Yeah, so I handed out some stickers, you know, and kind of held court with the guys there. So they're excited. you know, I I I'm gonna take Odom in this one. You know, just based off what I've seen, just based off what I've seen.
Dude, that is the
Hey,
biggest shocker of the century.
hey, man. Hey, you GP, you're doing the same thing. All right, Mr. Wildcat.
Oh, dude, and
Yeah.
I'm about to do the same thing right here.
Hey,
Uh,
the only thing missing from your little homerism is you getting the Wildcat head and putting it on like Lee Corso every time you pick a wild.
Dude, I want that. I want the
PG.
hats. I want people to send me the hats because I wish I could use the helmets. Because right now I'd be putting on an owl head. Boom, dude. And if this show wasn't PG, pal, I'd show them the chest. Both on the chest, dude.
Oh man. So yeah,
Yeah.
I've got Odom in this one. I think they're gonna put it together. I think Taft they're rebuilding, man. They're hurting this year.
I got Odom, dude. I got Odom in a big way. I think Taft's got a lot of rebuilding going on. Taft had one of their better years last year,
Yep.
and Odom hung in that game.
Yep.
I think Odom's better right now than they were last year. Give me Odom by a lot.
You know me, I'm not a score guy.
Nah, dude. It's all gas. It's all gas. No breaks from here, pal. Odom by a lot, dude.
DCTF has Odom.
Score.
DCTF has Odom by 8, and a 68% win probability.
Tell him it's okay, Becca, to be excited about this week. He's getting the trophy back.
Hey, there's Coach Latka. Hey, Coach, what was the score at the half when they called y'all's game? We were just talking about that earlier. I guess you must have just tuned in. We'll wait for your response. Oh, Michael Sines, OG by 20. Oh, wow, he's giving a number with that one. That's I don't know if that's Michael Sines Jr., who's the wide receiver out there. 34-28 at the half. Wow. So that was going to be a good one. We're going to get out there this year, Coach. We are going to get out there. If Justin's not there with me, I'll definitely get out there. I'm interested to see how this 6-man game works. I'm interested to see the speed of it. And I don't know. We'll figure something out. We'll do some kind of gimmick or something. Hey, look, Jerry Perkins checked in. We haven't seen Jerry Perkins in a while. Jerry, where you been?
He's been over there scouting teams for Taft.
Okay, Mike. So it is Michael Sines Jr. that's catching balls on Orange Grove. It's the dad. Thanks, Dad, for chiming in there. So with that, we've got one more announcement to make, and that's our Elite Tank Solutions Player of the Week. Right. So we had 4 nominees up. They were all quarterbacks, and it was very slim pickings this week because all the games got cut off, so no stats counted. Right. And there really wasn't really a whole lot to put out there. But our winner, based on the results from Twitter and Facebook, are, let me share my screen here. Logan Rodriguez from Orange Grove.
There you go.
Very big game last week for the Bulldogs. Obviously he couldn't do it alone. He tossed that ball around a lot. I don't remember his stat line. Let me pull that up here real quick. I have it saved here. He had 377 yards passing, 6 touchdowns, at 83 rushing yards last week. So congratulations, Logan. Congratulations, Orange Grove. I know Coach Perkins is going to be very happy about that. There you go. See, you already chimed in here. Like I said, these guys are having a very good offensive season, and it's we say it every week, but man, Coach Carnegie's got a quarterback, man.
Yeah, he does.
Every year he's got a quarterback. But man, Justin, you got anything else before we go? So we'll get an address and we'll get that out in the mail. I did get confirmation that Trevor Long did receive his trophy. Still waiting on a picture. I did get confirmation that Elijah Stustasia from Beeville got his trophy. Still waiting on a picture. They did get their trophies, so we're getting those out on time.
Ernie finally tracked us down for his helmet sticker.
Yeah. We ran into Ernest Campbell last week. Got his sticker. We will get those others in the mail. I swear we'll do it. We will do it. I got one that's got to go down to the valley. Haven't sent it in yet. Home opener this week, San Antonio East, 7 p.m., 1233 Haven Road. That's out there. Okay, I kind of know where that's at. But Justin, you got anything else before we go?
No, man, just looking forward to a good week. Hope it's injury free, right? Hope people get out there to the games. Man, get out to these games, dude. We talked about that a little bit. I know it's convenient to sit at home and watch them, and it's good broadcasting on some, but you absolutely cannot beat taking your kids, your grandkids to these games. I'm living proof of that. My grandparents took me from the time I was probably about 18 months old up until I played high school ball, and then I continued to go. I built a love for football doing it. Jacob can attest. I take Ace with me everywhere when he's allowed in. People like it. People love to see kids out there at an early age. So get them out there. It's a
You
good
know,
atmosphere.
you didn't tell anybody about Aces fan club in Calallen.
Yeah, dude. So for all the Cal Allen people that think I hate you, I'm a Portland guy, right? So I'm always going to dog Cal Allen people. I have good friends that are from Cal Allen, and it's good banner. But so Ace's thing, man, when he makes these games, uh, for one, he's going to do two things. He's gonna a hit me up for snacks. Two, he's gonna hit me up to get him a football from the cheerleaders because he's still terrified of women. And then a lot of times he's going to pester me to find either the ball boys or the kids that are on the coaches' kids that are playing football on the side. You see them running around on the fields between halftime or before the games. And last year when we were at Cal Allen, it was a bunch of the ball boys who were the coaches' kids, and it was like two or three of them, and they let him play football with him. And if you ever been around Ace, he can sling the ball and catch it pretty good. So for a little guy, and that's the big thing he looks forward to. So this year when we went over there, I had one of them track me down and say, "Hey, were you the guy with the little kid last year?" I said, "Yeah, that was us." And he's all, "Where's he at?" And I'm like, "Well, kind of cracking down a little bit. They wouldn't let him in here." And last minute thing, the kid, of course, that kid was bummed out, but we just saw it as funny because he's got a fan club, and I'm not going to tell him that because his head would be huge, but that they already ain't. But yeah, dude. So if you ever see me and him out there, he's probably having the time of his life, and he's going to have a big one. He's already pumped. Him and his brother are pumped. We got a home game at Portland. The big one has already hit me up for nachos and a drink, probably candy. He's already hitting me up to try to get up with football and cotton candy. So take your kids, dude. Get out there yourself, support your community. It's the best thing that's cheap entertainment. And honestly, if you had a kid that played and you played yourself, like the more people in the stands, it makes you feel better about your community and it makes you feel better about the team. So,
Dude, that's the next horse we're gonna beat when we lead the next show off is streaming. It's killing attendance. It's killing attendance.
yeah,
Dude, at the Cuero Cal Allen game, the stands were empty. And
yeah.
it's like, dude, this is a big game.
For how good of a game that was, like just name wise, think about it, dude. Cal Allen, well known. Cuero, well known.
Hang on, I'm gonna say what I said, and it got yelled at by you and Sergio. It was two blue blood programs.
I didn't
Cuero
get
and
yelled.
Cal.
I didn't yell at you.
Y'all yelled.
Sergio yelled at you.
Y'all
I
yelled at
didn't
me.
yell
Y'all
at
yelled at
you.
me. You're like, "Hey, slow down, slow down." You're talking to two guys from blue blood programs here. Hey, slow down.
Hey, tell them about Sergio getting yelled at though. He got yelled at
So,
by a Cal Allen coach, dude. That's the funniest thing ever.
oh yeah, so Sergio, the Bloodsport guy, he likes to rile feathers, right? So he's trying to get film, right? He's going to go film the Cal Allen student section, and it was he's like, because he's heard, Cal Allen. He said Cal Allen's got a great student section, so he wanted to get some Cal Allen footage for his for the highlight reel he was going to make. So he
They
gets
gotta
over there. He tells us after the fact. He gets over there and he's like, "I think they're going to kick me out." I'm like, "Well, what are you talking about?" He's like, "I got over there and a coach yelled at me and said, 'Hey, you don't even like Cal Allen. What are you doing over here?'" And so he kind of walked back to the sidelines or the Cuero side with his tail between his legs. He's like, "I think they're going to kick me out. They're going to kick me out."
It's funny, dude. It is hilarious. He's one of a kind, no doubt.
Yeah, so it was pretty funny. So I closed that on accident. Oh man, what did I do? What did I do? Oh, there we go. Hang on. I gotta catch up here. Serge Callan has come back to bite. Yeah, yeah, it has. A lot of his hate has come back to bite, and he's coming around little by little, little by little. But man, I think that's it for the show today. We'll check back in next week at the official we'll be past the midpoint next week.
Crazy.
I know, man. At that point, it's kind of the push to the playoffs.
Yep.
Week 6, it's everybody will start clicking in district. I think Cal Allen starts district next week. GP starts district next week. Actually, Cal Allen starts district tonight, Friday. GP will start district next week.
Yep. Evan Bluff.
Yeah, the Bluff will
If you're
start.
listening, put a petition out for us. We want to come to your games. Put a petition out.
Yeah,
Show your scoreboard.
Something, right? All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you guys next week.